He's doing a lot of these like mistakes when Superman is flying and they have that front facial of Superman, and he's tweeting about it where he's trying to explain his art. And if you have to explain your art, then it's not really art. If the wide angle does make an actor look weird, why would you make that creative decision?
Superman test screening reactions draw comparisons to one of the most well-received DCEU movies. Superman is coming out in 4 months, and its test screening reports are promising. The anticipated DC tentpole has been compared to one of the most successful movies from the now-defunct DC Extended Universe, DCEU. James Gunn's first movie for the DC Universe is David Corenswet's Superman. Gunn and Peter Safran, the co-chairman and co-CEOs of DC Studios, decided to end DCEU to have a full reboot of DC's cinematic universe. The film has high expectations because Gunn is the creative force behind it, both as director and writer. The filmmaker has a successful track record with superhero franchises, including Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy and DC's The Suicide Squad. Based on the reports, Gunn's Superman is in line with his superpowered flicks of the past.
Let's start with the first scenario. The first scenario is that this could be the greatest movie ever made. It could be on the level of a Titanic or a Star Wars or even, I guess, a Harry Potter. You know, all of these like successful movies, they usually have 4 pillars: comedy, wonder, humor, and I guess a love story. So if it has all of those components, I think that the movie has the potential to become one of the greatest movies ever made. That is the first scenario, and they know that they got a good movie, so they're like, you know what? We know we have one in the bag, and this movie's gonna make $1 billion. So let's not even focus on the promotion. Let us just kind of like tease it. But when we come with the trailer, this is gonna be the greatest movie of all time. Because if you look at the teaser trailer and the teaser trailer to the teaser trailer, it doesn't really say anything about the movie. It kind of hides a lot of the acting. You don't get to see Superman with any emotion on his face. He kind of reminds me of the Zack Snyder Superman. But then again, they could be hiding it, and James Gunn could be one of those master directors which knows exactly how to play with the fans and make us think a certain thing, and then he just does a 180. He probably could be that smart. I could be wrong. That's the first scenario, okay?
This article is from MovieWeb. Superman gets conflicting test screening reactions, leaving DC fans not knowing what to think. It says, James Gunn's Superman is one of the most anticipated movies of 2025, with David Corenswet being the latest actor to portray the Man of Steel on the big screen. Most DC fans, aside from the Zack Snyder diehards, are desperate for Superman to be a hit and revitalise the DC universe on the big screen after years of divisive movies. The first test screening of James Gunn's latest film have already happened, with the director confirming that some minor reshoots will be taking place before its theatrical release on July 11th, 2026. Obviously, that's a typo. It's supposed to be 2025. But fans are desperate to know what the first test audiences are saying about the film. 2 reports have been released supposedly quoting the test screening viewers, and the reactions couldn't be more juxtaposed. Okay, let's read on. The first report comes via insider Jeff Snyder. On his The Hot Mic podcast, Snyder revealed that one of his sources had nothing but bad things to say about Superman after the test screenings. So this is the quote. I got a call from my best source after that newsletter, Snyder said, having previously written a positive report about Superman. He said, great newsletter tonight. You got one thing wrong, and that's about Superman, which I continue to hear is terrible. So then on the flip side, we have this contrasting opinion. That news may come as a dagger to the heart for those who are optimistic about Superman successfully rebooting the DCU on the big screen. but not all hope is lost. Speaking on the John Campea show, the eponymous host gave a juxtaposing report about the first reactions to Superman's test screenings. And he says, "I will come out and say the exact opposite," Campea said in reference to Snyder's report. "I've heard Superman's tremendously good." Well, it's worth mentioning, of course, that we really have to take all of these kinds of reports with a pinch of salt. Nothing is confirmed at this point.
Personally, I think from everything that I've seen, it has been underwhelming. Underwhelming. Even the latest picture which they released, where it's a picture of his boots, everything has just been underwhelming. The teaser trailer to the teaser trailer was underwhelming. The trailer itself was just like, okay. It reminds me of, I guess, the Brandon Routh Superman. And it was an okay Superman movie, but was nothing which got me excited. If I go with James Gunn's track record and just look at Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, and what he has done recently, it's not giving me any motivation. I watched the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie and I thought to myself, this is garbage. So what I think could be happening right now is that the studio is out of money. They do not want to promote this movie and they know that it's going to be a flop, and they're looking at James Gunn where they're thinking like, okay, you were our last hope and we've seen the piece of garbage that you have produced with the new Superman movie. And what we can do is just save face right now. We can just try to prolong it as much as we can. We're going to let James Gunn take the bullet. So he's going to stand in front of this garbage which he created. And that's why we have him in every poster. If you just look at Warner Brothers history, usually that's what they do. If they do not have any confidence in a movie, they're not going to promote it. They're going to let James Gunn walk the plank, and they're going to give it a year, and then they're going to try to reboot it again. What might happen is that they might run back to Zack Snyder. If this one doesn't hit, I think he's going to be fired directly. And yeah, this is a girl which has cheated on you before and you're giving her a second chance. But yeah, those are my thoughts when it comes to this. Like, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.